James Walker stood at the massive window of the Galactic Council's space station, his reflection showing a tired man in his 40s with graying hair and deep worry lines on his face. The endless stars beyond the reinforced glass seemed to mock him, each one representing a world that had helped keep humanity down. He clutched a data crystal in his hand so tightly that his knuckles turned white. The information it contained would change everything. After 3 years of serving as Earth's ambassador to the Galactic Council, he had finally discovered the truth, and it made him sick to his stomach. The Council Chambers meeting had just ended, and like always, Earth's requests for advanced medical technology had been denied. "Your species isn't ready," they said. "It's for your own protection," they claimed. The same excuses, different day. But this time, Walker had proof of their lies. Late last night, he had received a message from Robert Hayes, his old friend from Earth's Intelligence Division. Hayes had managed to hack into the Council's secure archives, revealing thousands of documents spanning the last 100 years since humanity's first contact with alien life. Walker found a quiet corner in the station's garden area, designed to mimic an alien forest with strange blue-leaf trees. He activated the crystal's holographic display and began reading through the files again, his hands shaking with anger. The documents showed everything: carefully planned trade agreements designed to drain Earth's resources while providing minimal returns, deliberate suppression of human scientific discoveries, and worst of all, a detailed strategy to keep humanity dependent on alien technology. "Ambassador Walker," a voice called out. He quickly deactivated the crystal and turned to see Mary Thompson, his assistant, approaching with concern on her face. "The transport back to Earth leaves in 30 minutes. Walker nodded, his mind racing. He had to get this information back to Earth's government. "Mary, I need you to do something important. Send a message to the United Earth Council. Tell them to convene an emergency session. Mark it urgent." Mary's eyes widened. In 3 years, Walker had never requested an emergency session. "Sir, what's wrong?" "Everything," he whispered. "Everything is wrong." As they walked to the transport bay, Walker noticed the subtle ways other species looked down on humans. The tall, elegant council members with their advanced tech seamlessly integrated into their bodies. The merchant species with their massive trading fleets, all of them treating humans like children who needed guidance, who needed control. The transport ship was small but comfortable, designed for diplomatic travel between Earth and the Council station. As Walker settled into his seat, he remembered the day he had been appointed ambassador. He had been so proud, so hopeful about building bridges between humanity and the galactic community. What a fool he had been. The ship's engines hummed to life, and through the viewport, Walker watched the massive council station grow smaller. He pulled out the data crystal again, reviewing the evidence. One document particularly caught his eye: a report from 50 years ago discussing human potential. "Species shows dangerous levels of innovation and adaptability," it read. "Left unchecked, humans could surpass council technology within 3 generations. Recommended action: implementation of Protocol 7. Controlled development." Walker felt a cold anger settle in his chest. For a century, humanity had looked up to these advanced civilizations, eagerly accepting their guidance, their technology, their rules, all while they secretly worked to keep Earth weak and dependent. "Sir," Mary interrupted his thoughts, "we'll reach Earth in 6 hours." Walker nodded, already planning his presentation to the United Earth Council. He would show them everything: the trade manipulation, the technological suppression, the lies. 100 years of deception would end today. As Earth appeared in the distance, a beautiful blue marble against the black of space, Walker made a decision. Humanity had spent too long looking up to the stars in wonder. It was time to stand up and show the galaxy what humans could really do. The age of compliance was over. The age of independence was about to begin. Dr. Anna Miller stared at the quantum engine prototype floating in the containment field. The lab, hidden deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, hummed with energy as her team worked silently around her. 10 years of secret research had led to this moment. Power levels stable at 95%, reported Tom Green, her lead engineer. His usual calm voice held a hint of excitement. No council tech involved. It's all human-made, every single component. Miller allowed herself a small smile. When she had started this project, most people thought it was impossible to develop advanced technology without using alien designs. The council had made sure everyone believed that. "Run the final test," she ordered, moving to the reinforced observation room. Through the thick windows, she could see the engine's core pulsing with a soft blue light. If this worked, humanity would have its first completely independent faster-than-light drive. The test chamber sensors recorded everything as the engine powered up. Around her, the research team held their breath. Years of working in secret, avoiding council inspectors, and developing their own tools had brought them here. Suddenly, all the screens lit up with data. The engine wasn't just working, it was exceeding their expectations. Efficiency rating at 130% compared to standard council drives. Tom announced, his voice shaking. "And it's stable." The celebration was cut short by the lab's security alarm. Red lights flashed as warning messages appeared on every screen. "Council ships entering Earth's atmosphere," the security chief reported. "They're heading straight for us." Someone must have talked. Miller acted quickly. "Initiate Protocol 0. Download all data to secure servers. Wipe everything else." Her team moved with practiced efficiency. They had prepared for this possibility. Every piece of research, every breakthrough, was being saved to quantum-encrypted drives that would be scattered across Earth through hidden channels. "Dr. Miller," Tom called out, "what about the prototype?" She looked at the engine, still hovering in its containment field. They couldn't let the council get it, but destroying it would set them back years. "Prepare for transport," she decided. "Activate the emergency tunnels." The lab had been built with multiple escape routes, unknown even to most of the staff. As council ships landed on the mountain above them, the prototype was already being moved through a hidden underground maglev system. "Security breach in Sector 7. The alarm blared. Council enforcement officers, in their distinctive silver armor, were cutting through the upper levels. Miller watched her computer screen as the prototype's transport pod disappeared into the tunnel network. At least that was safe. Now for her team. "Everyone to your evacuation points," she ordered. "Remember your cover stories." As far as the council knows, this was just a regular research facility. The lab began to empty as researchers disappeared through hidden exits. Miller stayed at her station, calmly deleting files and activating false data trails that would keep the council chasing shadows. The door to the main lab burst open. Council officers poured in, weapons ready, only to find Miller sitting calmly at her desk. "Can I help you?" she asked innocently. The lead officer, his face hidden behind a silver mask, stepped forward. "This facility is suspected of illegal technological development. Where is your research?" Miller gestured to the very ordinary-looking equipment around her. "Feel free to look around. We're studying improved agricultural methods here, completely within council guidelines." The officers searched for hours but found nothing suspicious. The prototype was gone, the real data was safe, and all they could see were ordinary Earth computers running simple experiments. As they finally left, frustrated and empty-handed, Miller allowed herself a moment of satisfaction. The council thought they had humanity figured out. They thought they could control human development forever. They were wrong. In labs and workshops across Earth, other teams were making similar breakthroughs. Humanity had learned to keep secrets too, and soon they would show the galaxy what they could really do. The silent rebellion was just beginning. The United Earth Assembly Hall was packed to capacity. Representatives from every nation sat in tense silence as Ambassador Walker approached the podium. Through the glass dome above, the morning sun cast long shadows across the floor, and in the distance, a council ship hovered in the sky. a constant reminder of their supposed guardians. Walker placed his data crystal on the podium, and the large screens around the hall came to life. His voice, steady and clear, carried to every corner of the room. For 100 years, we have looked to the stars with hope. For 100 years, we have trusted the Galactic Council to guide us. Today, I show you the truth behind their guidance. The screens filled with document after document, trade agreements that stripped Earth of rare minerals while giving trinkets in return. Technical reports showing how Council advisors had deliberately steered human research away from promising breakthroughs. Secret directives to keep humanity dependent and controlled. The hall erupted in angry shouts and disbelieving gasps. Walker waited for the noise to settle before continuing. "But that's not all," he said, nodding to someone in the front row. Dr. Miller stood up, holding a small device in her hands. "While the Council worked to keep us down, some of us were working in secret. Dr. Miller, please show them." Miller activated the device, and a hologram appeared above the assembly floor. It showed the test results of the quantum engine, proving that humans could match, and even exceed, Council technology. This engine, Miller explained, was built entirely by human hands, human minds, using human innovation. No Council technology, no alien guidance, just pure human potential. The assembly hall grew silent as the implications sank in. Years of being told they needed the Council's help, that they weren't ready for advanced technology. All lies. Walker's voice cut through the silence. "I move for an immediate vote on Earth's membership in the Galactic Council." The voting took less than 10 minutes. The result was unanimous. As Walker prepared to deliver humanity's decision to the Council, alerts flashed across the assembly screens. Council ships were entering Earth's atmosphere in large numbers. "They're trying to intimidate us," someone shouted. Walker smiled grimly. "They're too late." He activated the emergency broadcast system, knowing his next words would be heard by every human on Earth and every Council member in the system. "To the Galactic Council," he began, his voice firm. "For a century, we accepted your guidance. We believed your promises. We trusted your leadership. Today, that trust ends." The screen showed Council ships taking up positions around major cities, but Earth wasn't defenseless anymore. Hidden defense platforms, built in secret over years, emerged from oceans and mountains. "Humanity hereby withdraws from the Galactic Council," Walker continued. "We reject your authority. We reject your control. We reject your lies." A Council transmission cut into the broadcast. "This is unauthorized," a stern alien voice declared. "Stand down immediately or face consequences." Walker didn't even pause. "For too long, you've seen us as children to be controlled. Today, we show you that humanity has grown up. We will forge our own path among the stars." The defense platforms powered up, creating a protective shield around Earth. Council ships pulled back, clearly surprised by technology they hadn't known existed. "You may have led us here," Walker concluded, "but you no longer control where we go. The human race is free to determine its own destiny." As the assembly erupted in cheers, Walker watched the Council ships retreat. In his earpiece, he could hear the confused chatter of alien commanders trying to understand how their careful plans had fallen apart so quickly. They would learn soon enough. Humanity had been silently preparing for this day, building strength while appearing weak. The Council's perfect system of control had just lost its first member species, and somehow, Walker knew they wouldn't be the last. The age of Council dominance was over. The age of human independence had begun. The Earth's global markets were in chaos during the first week after leaving the Council. Alien corporations pulled their investments. Trade ships avoided Earth's ports, and Council-dependent industries ground to a halt. Yet by the second week, something unexpected happened. Mark Davis, head of Earth's new independent technology division, stood in his office overlooking New York City. The streets below buzzed with activity as trucks moved between factories that had been retooled almost overnight. "Another success report, sir," his assistant said, handing him a tablet. The Brazilian facility has successfully replicated the medical regeneration technology. They're already improving on the original design. Davis nodded, unsurprised. Once freed from council restrictions, human engineers were reverse engineering and improving alien technology at an astonishing rate. A notification flashed on his screen. Another threatening message from the council. This one promised severe consequences for any world that traded with Earth. Davis archived it with the others. They still think they can starve us out, he muttered. The council's economic sanctions have been designed to bring humanity to its knees. Instead, they had sparked an industrial revolution. When alien food processors were withdrawn, Earth's scientists created better ones. When alien energy systems were shut down, humans built their own. His computer chimed with an incoming call from the Mars colony. The Red Planet's governor appeared on screen, looking pleased. The new atmospheric processors are online, she reported. They're working at 200% efficiency compared to the council models. We'll have breathable air in the domed cities 3 years ahead of schedule. Before Davis could respond, another call came in. This one was from an unexpected source, a representative of the Proxima Trading Guild, one of the smaller alien civilizations. We've reviewed your new technology patents, the alien said, its translator converting clicks into English. Your quantum engine designs, they're remarkable. Would Earth consider a private trade agreement? Davis smiled. The Council's attempt to isolate Earth was backfiring. Other species were noticing that humans could not only survive without Council technology, but could innovate beyond it. Send me the proposal, he said. We're open to fair trade with any independent partners. By the end of the day, 3 more alien species had made similar requests. Each one had their own grievances with the Council's controlling policies. Walking through the research division later, Davis watched teams of scientists working on projects that would have been forbidden under Council rule. One group was developing enhanced spacesuits. Another was testing new communication systems that didn't rely on Council networks. Sir, his assistant called out, you need to see this. The main screen showed news from across the galaxy. Several smaller civilizations were openly questioning their Council membership. Inspired by Earth's success, they were beginning to resist Council control. The Council's response was predictable. More threats, more sanctions. But their power was based on maintaining the illusion of indispensability. Earth had shattered that illusion. A message arrived from Dr. Miller's team. New breakthrough in quantum physics. Council basic laws proven incomplete. Requesting immediate research funding. Davis approved it without hesitation. Every day brought new discoveries as human scientists explored ideas the Council had declared impossible. In the evening, he attended an emergency meeting with Earth's leadership. Reports showed Council military movements near the outer solar system. They're preparing for a show of force, the defense minister announced. They think if they can't control us economically, they can scare us back in line. Davis shared the latest trade requests from independent alien species. They're losing control of the narrative. Other civilizations are watching us succeed. The meeting was interrupted by another transmission, this time from a mid-level Council world. They wanted to secretly discuss trading technology. More worlds were choosing independence over Council control. Looking out at the night sky, Davis could see new ships in orbit. Human-built vessels using human technology. The Council's sanctions had meant to break them. Instead, they had forced humanity to realize its true potential. The galaxy was changing. The Council's perfect system was cracking. And through those cracks, freedom was beginning to shine. Commander Thomas Reed stood on the bridge of the EDS Defiant, Earth's newest battleship, watching as the Council's peacekeeping fleet emerged from hyperspace. Their ships filled the viewport, their silver hulls gleaming in the light of Saturn's rings. 500 vessels detected, his tactical officer reported, including 3 dreadnoughts. They're broadcasting a demand for immediate surrender. Reed smiled slightly. The Council still thought humanity was using stolen or reverse-engineered technology. They had no idea what they were actually facing. All defense platforms online, another officer announced. Home fleet in position. Colonial forces standing by. The Council's message played through the bridge speakers. This is your final warning. Return to Council authority or face immediate military action. You have 1 hour to comply. Reed opened a channel to all Earth forces. Remember your training. Remember why we fight. They expect us to be primitive copies of their technology. Show them how wrong they are. The Council fleet moved into attack formation, spreading out to surround Earth's defensive line. They'd probably expected a short, one-sided battle. Sir, his communications officer called out, we're receiving transmissions from several Council ships. They're junior officers. They're asking about defecting. That was unexpected. Apparently, Earth wasn't the only one tired of Council control. The Council flagship launched the first attack, firing energy weapons that should have torn through Earth's shields. Instead, the advanced quantum barriers absorbed the attacks completely. Return fire, Reed ordered. Show them what human innovation can do. The Defiant's main gun fired, using principles of physics the Council had declared impossible. The beam cut through the flagship's shields like they weren't there. Chaos erupted across space. Council ships, used to fighting with rigid, traditional tactics, found themselves facing an enemy that broke all their rules. Human ships moved in patterns their computers couldn't predict. Earth weapons bypassed defenses that had worked for thousands of years. Multiple Council vessels are breaking formation. Tactical reported. They didn't expect us to be able to fight back. Reed watched as Earth's defense platforms activated, revealing weapons the Council had never seen. Quantum torpedoes that ignored shield frequencies. Gravity weapons that turned space itself into a weapon. Sir, his science officer shouted. 3 Council ships are powering down. They're signaling surrender. More followed. The Council fleet, faced with technology they couldn't understand and tactics they couldn't counter, began to retreat in disorder. Should we pursue? His executive officer asked. Reed shook his head. Let them go. Let them report what they saw here. The battle was over in less than an hour. The mighty Council fleet fled back into hyperspace, leaving behind their damaged and surrendered ships. Incoming transmission from Earth Command. Communications announced. They're receiving messages from dozens of worlds. Everyone wants to know how we did it. Reed looked at the battlefield. Council ships had dominated space for so long that no one had thought to question their methods. No one except humans, who had spent their isolation years learning, developing, and preparing. Sir, his tactical officer reported with a grin, the surrendered Council ships are requesting permission to study our technology. They say it's like nothing they've ever seen. Of course it wasn't. The Council had spent millennia believing they had discovered everything worth knowing. They had stopped looking for new ideas, new possibilities. Humanity had just proven them wrong. As recovery ships moved to assist the surrendered vessels, Reed received another update. More Council worlds were declaring independence. The sight of their undefeatable fleet running from human ships had shattered the Council's image of invincibility. Send word to all ships, Reed ordered. The Council fleet will return, probably with reinforcements. But next time, we won't be fighting alone. He looked at the stars beyond the viewport. For thousands of years, the Council had maintained power through control and suppression. They never understood that true strength came from freedom, from innovation, from the drive to exceed limitations. Today, humanity had taught them that lesson. Tomorrow, they would help others learn it too. The galaxy would never be the same. Dr. Anna Miller stood frozen in her laboratory, staring at the brain scanned results on her holographic display. What had started as a routine study of human neural patterns had turned into something extraordinary. Run the comparison again, she ordered the computer, and cross-reference with all known species in our database. The laboratory, now operating openly since Earth's independence, hummed with activity as the quantum computers processed the data. The results remained the same. This can't be right, Tom Green muttered beside her. According to these scans, human brains process information completely differently from every other known species. Miller enlarged the display, showing neural activity patterns from various species. Alien brains showed structured, predictable patterns. Human brains, however, displayed what looked like chaos. But it wasn't chaos at all. Look at this, she pointed to a particular section. When faced with a problem, alien brains follow established neural pathways. But human brains, she switched to a human scan. We create new pathways instantly. We adapt. We innovate. The door burst open as James Walker, the former ambassador, rushed in. "Dr. Miller, you needed to see me urgently." She gestured to the scans. "Remember how the council kept blocking our cognitive research? Now we know why. Humans don't just think differently. We think in ways that should be impossible." Walker studied the displays. After years of dealing with council politics, he understood the implications immediately. They knew about this. Miller nodded, pulling up more data. "I found these in the archived council files you recovered. They've been studying us for centuries. They knew we were different, but they couldn't understand how or why." The scans showed more differences. While alien brains specialized in specific functions, human brains could repurpose areas for new tasks. Where aliens learned through structured patterns, humans could make intuitive leaps. That's why they feared us, Walker realized. We can do things their science says are impossible because we don't think like them. Miller brought up another display, showing the results of creativity tests. Aliens can improve existing ideas, but humans, we create entirely new concepts. We see possibilities where they see only rules. The laboratory's alert system suddenly activated. More data was pouring in from research centers worldwide. Everyone studying the human brain was finding the same patterns. "It's not just our technology that scared them," Miller said quietly. "It's us. Our potential. The way we think." She showed Walker more council documents, these ones heavily encrypted. They detailed centuries of careful manipulation. Educational programs designed to make humans think more like aliens, technology meant to guide human development along predictable paths. "They tried to make us like them," Walker said. "They failed." Miller nodded. "The more they tried to control us, the more our minds found ways around their restrictions. Every barrier they put up just made us more creative in getting past it." The implications were staggering. Humanity hadn't just broken free from council control. They had proven that an entirely different way of thinking was possible. "We need to tell everyone," Walker decided. "Not just humans. Every species needs to know that the council's way isn't the only way." Miller was already ahead of him, preparing the research for publication. The council tried to make the galaxy think in straight lines. But human minds, she smiled. We think in all directions at once. As the data went out across human networks and to their new alien allies, responses flooded in. Other species began testing their own cognitive potential, breaking free from council-imposed limitations. "They tried to suppress what made us unique," Miller said, watching the messages pour in. "Instead, they just proved how special it is." Walker looked at the brain scans again, seeing them with new understanding. The council hadn't just feared human technology or human independence. They had feared human potential, the ability to think in ways their ordered, structured minds couldn't comprehend. The truth was finally out. Humanity wasn't just different. They were proof that the council's entire understanding of intelligence was wrong. And that revelation would change everything. 1 year after Earth's independence, the landscape of galactic politics had changed beyond recognition. The massive space station orbiting Earth's moon hosted representatives from 30 different species, all former council members who had chosen independence. Ambassador Walker, now serving as Earth's representative to the new alliance of independent worlds, watched ships from various civilizations dock at the station. Each vessel showed unique designs, free from council standardization. "The Centauri delegation has arrived," his assistant reported. They're bringing their new faster-than-light drive designs for the technology exchange. Walker nodded, remembering how impossible this would have seemed a year ago. The Council had convinced everyone that cooperation without their control would lead to chaos. Instead, it had led to an explosion of innovation. In the station's main chamber, Dr. Miller was presenting her latest research to an eager audience of alien scientists. The revelation about human cognitive abilities had sparked a renaissance of neural research across multiple species. Every mind is unique, she explained to the gathered crowd. The Council tried to make us all think the same way, but our differences are our strength. Signs of change were everywhere. Ships of mixed crews explored the galaxy's unknown regions. Trade flowed freely between worlds, unrestricted by Council regulations. New technologies emerged daily as species combined their knowledge in ways the Council had forbidden. Latest report from the outer systems, an aide announced. 3 more Council worlds have declared independence. The Council's control is down to less than 30% of their original territory. The Council's power had crumbled faster than anyone expected. Without fear and controlled technology to hold it together, their empire had started falling apart. Ambassador, a voice called. Walker turned to see the representative from Proxima Centauri approaching. The first joint colony ships are ready. Humans and Centaurians working together to explore new worlds. This was perhaps the biggest change. Under Council rule, species were kept separate, told they couldn't understand each other. Now they were proving that difference didn't mean division. In the station's research wing, teams of mixed species worked on problems that had stumped the Council for millennia. Human creativity combined with alien knowledge produced solutions no one had thought possible. Energy production up 300% in the new fusion plants, reported Tom Green, now heading the Alliance's technology division. Turns out humans and Arcturians make a great engineering team. The station's observation deck offered a view of Earth below. The planet had changed too. Cities glowed with new energy systems. Green technology had cleaned the atmosphere. Ships of all species came and went freely. Remember when they said we weren't ready for advanced technology? Miller asked, joining Walker at the window. Now we're teaching them things their science said were impossible. The Alliance wasn't perfect. There were disagreements, cultural misunderstandings, challenges to overcome. But they faced these problems together, as equals, not under the Council's rigid control. Message from the core worlds, an officer announced. The Council is requesting peace talks. They're offering to recognize the Alliance's independence. Walker smiled. The Council had finally realized that their perfect system of control was gone forever. The galaxy had learned to think differently, to see new possibilities. Tell them we'll consider their request, he replied. As equals, not as subjects. As the day ended, Walker watched ships depart the station, carrying ideas and innovations to distant worlds. Humanity had done more than just break free from Council control. They had shown the galaxy a new way forward. The Council had tried to make everyone the same, to control every aspect of development. But true progress came from freedom. Freedom to think differently, to cooperate naturally, to find new paths forward. Looking at Earth below, Walker thought about how far they'd come. From a controlled, limited species to the catalyst for galactic change. They had turned their backs on the Council's vision of perfect order and found something better. A future where differences were celebrated and every species could reach its full potential. The age of control was over. The age of possibility had begun.